Today, let's take a brief look at the US M17 series of gas masks. Introduced around 1960 to replace the M9 mask, it remained in service as the major protective mask for most of the US military until the early 1990s. After the first Gulf War in 1991, it began to be replaced by the MCU-2P in the US Air Force and Navy and the M40 in the Army and Marine Corps. These masks themselves have now been replaced by the M50 series, making the M17 two generations behind the current issue mask. The M17 was a major switch from the previous M9 mask's filter canister system. Instead, the M17 used right and left-hand pork chop-shaped filters that were internal to the mask. While this lowered the profile some without a large protruding canister on one side, and made for easy breathing through the dual filters, it had a serious drawback. Unlike a canister system, these filters could not be replaced in a contaminated environment. Soldiers would have to withdraw to a safe area to decontaminate and change filters, or a unit might have to abandon a position altogether if it could not change filters as needed. Despite this issue, it would be the main protective mask of the US military throughout the majority of the Cold War. There were three basic models: the initial M17, the M17A1, and the M17A2. They differed in some features and are fairly easy to tell apart. The M17 featured a voice emitter to improve speech capabilities and separate outsert pieces to go over the eye lens to protect them from damage and chemical agents, and was available in small, medium, and large sizes. The M17A1 introduced an important feature that has become all but standard nowadays, a drinking tube system that allowed a masked soldier to use his canteen. Another unique feature of the M17A1 was the provision for a rescue breathing system that would allow a masked soldier to provide life support air to an unmasked casualty with a medical emergency. This system was found to be hazardous in some situations to the rescuer, and the system was deleted to make the M17A2 the final version of this mask. The M17A2 was also produced in a fourth size as well, extra small. Many A1 masks were converted to A2 standard by the removal of the excess resuscitation tubing, leaving just the stub of it inside the mask. I'm going to don the mask and hood now, and as much fun as it would be to show on camera, it'll probably take too long or I'd mess something up and have to do it over and over again. Either of those would probably be boring or need to be sped up. So I'll don it off camera, check myself in a mirror since I'm shooting this video alone without any help, and then rejoin the presentation. Now that I've got the mask and hood on, we'll talk a little bit more about the features. This particular mask is an M17A1 model that was converted to A2 standard by removal of the resuscitation system. I'm wearing a large size mask to fit my big head, although as with many other US masks, I can wear and get a good seal on a medium as well. However, the large feels more comfortable on me, and I'm less likely to accidentally break the seal wearing a large. Overall, the mask is easy to wear and breathe through if kind of noisy. The field of vision is okay, and it does have a voice emitter assembly, so there is a better chance of being heard through it, along with the previously mentioned drinking tube system. Vision correction inserts were available for service members that needed them as well. The M6 gas hood was issued along with the mask. This hood's openings were cut to fit the M17 mask specifically, and the mask was intended to be used with the hood attached. Generally, unless there was some special operational circumstance, the hood would always be installed for use. You had to be careful installing it, as it is a tight fit around all of the openings, and it's easy to tear it and render the hood useless. I also have the outserts installed on here, which give extra protection to the eyepieces from scratching and such. There was a winterization kit that put a fabric cover over the inlet valves to prevent moisture from freezing in them and interfering with their operation in cold weather. Besides the carrier bag, a plastic bag to put the mask in to protect the filters from water was also issued to be used when, say, fording a stream. A special canteen cap that worked with the drinking system would be issued also. A user manual, chemical detector paper booklet, and a personal decontamination kit would round out the items issued with a mask. If a chemical attack was considered imminent, auto-injector kits to treat nerve agent exposure would also be issued and carried. Despite its drawbacks, it remained in frontline U.S. service for over 30 years and inspired a number of foreign near-direct copies. A couple of notable examples will be the Czechoslovakian M10 and the Polish MP4. Current world situation aside, the M17 mask and its accessories are not too difficult to find in the usual places on the secondary market, or particularly expensive. I would not pay a lot or recommend it to anyone looking for any serious chemical protection, though. Preppers or anyone else expecting to face an actual chemical agent should pass it on by. All of the masks are now old and expired, as are the filters. None have been made for around 30 years, and all are well past their recommended service life now, and would not give you any assurance of protection, even if being used correctly. In fact, they may be worse than nothing. They may give you a false sense of security when you're actually not being protected at all. The M17 is fine for collectors or cosplayers, but you should look elsewhere if you need an actual serviceable gas mask. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or something you'd like to see, or that I could do better. See you next time.